In this particular slide, we will look at the way in which the church leaders ordered the New Testament books. If you look at the order of those books in general, from an overview standpoint, they reinforce the prominence of Jesus in history, both as Jesus, the historical being, and the historical human from Nazareth, and the understanding of Jesus as the eternal divine Messiah, which you also find in the New Testament. The Christian ordering of the New Testament begins with the book of Matthew, and specifically with the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew. Matthew's genealogy goes all the way back to Abraham, and in this way, the church is emphasizing the rootedness of the New Testament, and especially in Christ, in the sense that there was a Messiah figure expected and both fulfilled in the person of Jesus Christ. So the Gospels focus on Jesus' messiahship. That was a main claim of Christians as opposed to other groups who looked at this particular period of religious history. Next, you see the Pauline letters, Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, all of those. And those letters are meant to describe how the message of Christ applies to people in other parts of the world besides the world and the part of the world in which Jesus' ministry took place. Keep in mind that Paul is going all kinds of places in the Mediterranean area looking at beginning churches, and he is one of the things that he has to do is explain how he understands the relationship of the life of Christ to what has happened in history in the relationship between Judaism and their God. After the Pauline letters come what we call pseudo-Pauline, or books that are associated with Paul, even though it's quite widely accepted today by scholars that they were not written by Paul. So those books would include books like Ephesians, and I would say Colossians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, and Titus, and 2nd Thessalonians, and others. Those are considered to be related to Paul's letters, but not written by Paul himself. Those particular books focus on developing what it means to believe in Christ, and who was Christ, and how is Christ related to God, and how is Christ related to our expectation of salvation, and how is Christ related to the practice of Christian ministry itself. Another thing that they wanted to do in those letters was to make sure everybody was clear about certain misunderstandings of the teaching of Jesus, which had arisen in one place or another. Those pseudo-Pauline books attempt to correct some of those misconceptions, what we would later call heresies. The New Testament ends with the book of Revelation, which is an apocalypse that also contains some epistles in its earlier chapters. Revelation focuses on Jesus, and you'll especially see this starting in chapters 4 and 5, as a heavenly being. And the plan, according to Revelation, is that God will, through Jesus, God will return to earth and will establish a permanent kingdom. So that work is work that starts with Jesus being a lamb up in heaven in Romans 4, in Revelation 4, and ends up with the new heaven and the new earth in Revelation 20 and 21. That is the order of the books of the New Testament, and I've tried to help you see theologically why they are ordered the way that they are.